621 on TMJ4 News today. If you're just joining us, we've been following big news from Summerfest. The big gig just dropping its lineup for most of its acts. Some big names on the ticket include Bryan, Miley Cyrus, Jonas Brothers, Zac Brown Band, Dave Matthews Band. This morning we're joined by the Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief, Mark Kass. And I guess, Mark, let's start with Summerfest. Talk about something from an economic impact standpoint that probably we took for granted for a long time. The dollars for the festival itself, the spillover into downtown and beyond, the businesses touched one way or another by this annual event. Hard to overestimate how important it is to have Summerfest back on.
I mean, it really is. When you think about it, I mean, in a normal year, you're talking about well over $100 million. Obviously, it's going to be kind of an unusual year, obviously spread over 3 weekends. But still, you're talking about hotels, you're talking about restaurants, you're talking about retail. It just kind of enlivens the city for those days and really brings in a lot of people. You get a lot of people from Illinois, you get a lot of people from our country, all spending money here. And after the year we've had, it's very important to have that. That's why I said last week in terms of state fair and now this, the economic impact to all these entities is so important.
Mark, let's stay downtown. The Bucks announcing they're moving forward with a hotel in the Deer District area. We don't know the name of it, hotel to be named later, but what do you see as far as other development in that area?
You know, I think next you'll see office building and then apartments. Kind of what they've talked about throughout this whole thing is kind of a live, work, and play. So, you know, obviously I think now with the hotel there, that's a huge thing because it helps bring people around. You add an office building, that's work, you know, and then you add apartments along the river. So I mean, really, what they've tried to make that area is really its own kind of neighborhood. We really see a lot of growth there, a lot of activity and energy. Something that's starting to come back. I was there the other night, and you know, really saw some more energy in the area, and not nearly what it could be, but you know, more things that are there, the more people that are there, obviously, the more money that's spent.
Mark, we talked a lot about the Couture project. I remember talking with you a few weeks ago and asking as things were getting moving if it was for real this time. Looks like now we're there. Can you talk about how that project will transform not just that space, but the plans for that sort of to have a ripple effect around that whole area?
You know, I think everybody forgets how really great a site that is. That is really probably one of the #1 sites in the state, overlooking the lakefront, overlooking the art museum, everything that goes on down there. There's also a site right to the south of that could be an office building, a really large office building. So it'll be interesting to see as this project is built, underway, and open, what else is going to happen? Are you going to see an office on that site? Are you going to see more stuff in terms of the 3rd Ward? You know, they get the ICC site, which is currently up for sale. So there's a lot of things that can happen. You needed the energy from this. You need the activity from this to kind of have to happen. But I think you're going to see more stuff happen to the south and be really, really strong for the city. I mean, it's been a long time, but it's going to be great to see it go up.
All right, Mark Kass with the Milwaukee Business Journal. Mark, thanks so much as always for waking up early for us. For more of today's business news, you can always head to bizjournals.com/Milwaukee.